Welcome, everyone. Today we are talking with Marie, who, although she doesn't have a nickname, she looks like Monica Lewinski and hates SpaghettiOs. She is a wedding singer and once worked for a cemetery. She loves mint chocolate chip ice cream and has no less than 20 aprons. Today, she's going to share with us her family trip to some Patron Saint locations in Europe. So, welcome.
Oh, it's such a joy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Welcome, Marie. So our timer is starting. We have 7 minutes to go. So just tell us a little bit about how this trip came about.
Well, when I was trying to have my first child, my sister was a student in Europe and she visited Auschwitz and prayed for me at the cell of where Maximilian Kolbe died in Auschwitz. And I ended up naming my first son Maximilian after Maximilian Kolbe, who was killed at Auschwitz. And he actually took the life of another prisoner. A prisoner had escaped and they had a mandatory amount of prisoners that were to die as a punishment for that. And a man said, but my children, and Maximilian Kolbe said, I'll take his place. And so I named my first child Maximilian, and ever since then, I dreamt of going back and taking a picture of my son, just like my sister had a picture taken of her when she was praying for me. Yeah. And that kind of began my journey. And as we had more children, we ended up naming them all after European saints. And I decided that I was going to take my children. And a couple of years ago was my magic window, because my oldest was 15, so he wasn't 16, old enough to get like a real Social Security summer job. Yeah. And my youngest were 10, which means they were big enough to carry their own luggage, which is huge for me. Yes. And so I saved up and we took this epic trip to Europe. We started in Poland, in KRAKÓW, and went to Auschwitz and got that picture where my sister had prayed for my son. And then we traveled from Poland to a tiny village about 45 minutes west of Milan near Magenta, Italy. My daughter is named after Gianna Beretta Mola, who was a physician in the 1960s, and she passed away shortly after giving birth to her daughter. That daughter is still alive, and she took us around and showed us all of the sights of her mother. We had a minivan, an Italian minivan with a stick shift, and we drove all around these teeny tiny villages in Italy. And then from there we went to Rome and visited Rome, because if you're in Italy you've got to visit Rome, and went on to Assisi. My twin girls are named Agnes and Claire, and many people have heard of Claire of Assisi, but they don't know that she had a sister named Agnes. And this was a way of giving them a matchy-matchy name without being matchy-matchy with my twins. So few people know that my twins have a matchy-matchy name, but they are Agnes and Claire. And we went and visited the place where Agnes and Claire were buried. And so it was a special thing for each of my children. They had their special place. And it was a way to let my children see that the world is bigger than them. And I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. So there's 4 children. Am I following that right?
Yes, four kids, yes.
But you went to 3 countries because of the twins, right?
Well, we went to 3 sites. We went to Poland and Italy, and then we went to about 4 different places total. But yes.
And then about how long did you stay in each place then?
We were in each place 3 to 4 days. Okay. We were gone a total of just over 2 weeks. And so we were in each place 3 or 4 days.
Okay. Was there something that surprised you? Like, what was the most surprising location or place that you visited?
You know what? We loved Poland. Poland was very surprising to us. It was amazing how much they loved Americans. Everything was clean. Everything was really reasonably priced. We went to a nice, 4-star dinner, and it was like $100 for my family of 6.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Poland was amazing. We had paid for a private tour on a couple of places that we wanted to go in Poland, and had a private driver for a day, which was absolutely wonderful. I am a big fan. If you're going to Europe for the first time, especially if you have children, to pay for lots of English speaking tours, because it's so hard to get everything from a pamphlet or try and read up on your own. To have English speaking tour guides was something that I put a large part of our budget into this trip, because I wanted to make sure that my kids got some of the culture, and that was how I found the best way to do that.
Yeah, that's excellent. So it sounds like hiring an English-speaking guide was one of the ways you tried to navigate the different age differences. Or are there other tips for families trying to plan something where you have these, like a teenager and then some younger kids, activities, or choosing some things that are appropriate to, so one person's not over there.
Absolutely. One of my biggest tips is to plan one major thing each day and have either a free morning or a free afternoon where you can split up, you can rest, you can do things or not do things. If you stumble onto something that you think might be fun, then you have a morning or an afternoon to do that. I really tried to just have one major thing each day and have the other half of the day free to rest or do laundry or see something that we stumbled on that we wanted to see. And we did all of those things. We rested, we did laundry, and we saw new things. So it was wise to only plan one major thing each day.
Yeah, that's really great. Was there a time you wished you had your camera, or when you took the most pictures? Can you tell us about some of the sites, places that you saw?
I'm not a big picture fan. Okay. My husband made me take pictures. I really like to be present in the moment, and I don't like being behind the camera. I also, when I do take pictures, I rarely take pictures of things. I take pictures of people at places or with things. But to just take a picture of a thing is something I am just not a big fan of. I want to remember the people. I want to remember the memories that we had. And the thing is, I can find pictures of on the internet. I'm not too concerned about things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's very intuitive. So what did you learn? What are some things that you could only learn by taking them there?
I think the biggest thing that my family learned is that the memories keep going.
There we go.
That was our 7 minutes.
I got a good question.
Do you want me to finish?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. You can finish your sentence.
Yeah.
Well, the memories keep going. We're 2 years out from this particular trip, and we still go and cherish the memories. We still talk about some of the crazy restaurants we ate at or some of our little antics. And I think that that's the gift of travel, is it's something that keeps on giving even when you've left.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Thanks. I'm glad we got that little bit
there. Yeah, me too.
That's our 7 minutes. So thanks, Marie, for sharing your story. We have a new question and answer series, so send us your questions and we'll answer them. There's a link in the description below. And travel with us through real stories from real people. Thanks.